Schumacher still critical, but there are signs of a slight improvement. The Formula One star undergoes a second successful operation, but his doctors say he's not out of danger yet. Also this lunchtime, Penelope Keith leads the New Year's honours, a dame to the manor born. And 2014 begins on the other side of the world as Britain stands ready to party.
This is ITV News with Alastair Stewart.
Good afternoon. The tone of the doctors treating Michael Schumacher was very slightly more optimistic in this morning's medical bulletin. Formula One's greatest champion is still in a critical condition, they say, but a second operation on his brain after his skiing accident has led to a slight improvement. But they warn it's a long road to recovery. Charlotte Grant has the latest.
For 2 hours last night, Michael Schumacher had what his doctors described as a window of opportunity, a chance to operate to remove the largest of a series of blood clots on the Formula One champion's brain.
We went to the operating theatre and the hematoma was successfully removed, and the CT scan today is better, and the clinical situation is a bit improved compared to yesterday. But at the time it's too premature to make any speculation about his condition.
Does he remain critical?
Yes.
While other skiers watch on, a helicopter airlifts the 7-time Formula One champion away from where he crashed on the Maribel slopes. The 44-year-old had been skiing at speed, off-piste and accompanied by his son. Doctors have repeatedly stressed how serious Schumacher's condition remains, refusing to speculate on his future, saying it would be dishonest to talk about tomorrow, 6 months or 2 years. One surgeon even getting up to ask people not to put pressure on the medical team and to think of Schumacher's family still sat by his bedside 2 days on. The next few hours for the Formula One champion are critical. He is still in a coma and a number of blood clots near his brain remain. But those who fell in love with his fighting spirit on the track may now dare to hope this could be the start of a fight for recovery. Charlotte Grant, ITV News.
And our Europe correspondent Emma Murphy is outside the hospital in Grenoble. Emma, you've been speaking to Michael Schumacher's manager. What's the message?
That's right, I've been speaking to Sabrine Kane, who is the woman who has been by Michael Schumacher's side for many years as his manager. She is a close friend and one of the few people that has been allowed access to him and the family over the last 36 hours. Now, what she was telling me is that contrary to all the speculation that's gone on, speed was not a part of this accident, and actually it was something that happened completely out of the blue and as he was actually travelling quite slowly.
He was not even at high speed because it seemed that he had even helped a friend who just had fallen on the piste. So he started to ski again, went into this deep snow, has hit a rocket which he had not seen, and he was kind of catapulted in the air and apparently head down hitting another rock, which was extreme bad and unfortunate circumstance, and not because of he was speeding too much. It was something. I've spoken with several people, also ski teachers. They tell me that can happen even at 10 kilometers per hour. It was just very, very unfortunate.
And as Charlotte just reported, some tension at the press conference. How would you describe the mood there now?
I think people here are still extremely worried. When I spoke to one of the doctors, he said it would be wrong to say that we're optimistic. We aren't able to take that position at the moment. All we can say is that we are slightly less anxious than we were this time yesterday. And when those doctors came into the press conference, I have to say, they all looked extremely tired, very pale and extremely concerned. And there was a feeling amongst those gathered in that room that perhaps there had been a deterioration. So you get a measure of just how serious this situation is, that they looked like that when actually they had some small improvement to report. They are clearly extremely anxious and nobody is willing to speculate on whether or not Michael Schumacher can survive, and if he does, what condition he'll be in.
Emma, thank you. Here, Margot in The Good Life would probably be rather jealous, but the actress herself, Penelope Keith, declared herself delighted that she'd been made a Dame in the New Year's Honours list. She's one of more than 600 women being honoured, putting them in the majority for the first time. Sejal Carrier reports.
You stupid man.
Can we like that?
I can because I pay your wages, and get off my carpet.
It's an honour Margot herself would be chuffed with.
Hey, Wally, stop what you're doing. Ladyface ain't wants a windbreak move.
I heard that.
Now Penelope Keith, who spent 54 years playing upper crust characters, becomes a Dame for services to the arts and charity.
That is correct.
There's been another murder, man.
Murder?
Murder.
Oh, good heavens.
Also becoming a Dame is Murder, She Wrote actress Angela Lansbury.
Well, my congratulations to you.
But I states what's occurring.
Ruth Jones, who played larger-than-life Nessa in the hit sitcom Gavin and Stacey, becomes an MBE, in a list which features more women than men for the first time ever.
If it weren't for my relationship with John Prescott, I'd still be in that jail right now.
I think now that I've got an MBE, I will only be able to play royal aristocratic characters. Nessa and Stella will be things of the past. I don't want anything to do with them because now I'm proper tidy.
Celebrated sculptor Anthony Gormley, famous for the Angel of the North, receives a knighthood. As does the doctor who helped deliver Prince George. Marcus Setchell, seen here in the glasses, delayed his retirement after being asked to oversee the birth by the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge.
God bless you all. The Queen loves you all, I've asked her.
The phone hasn't stopped ringing at Gwendolyn Gallear's house in West Yorkshire. She's 90 and has devoted her life to fundraising for sick and disabled children. She's been awarded a British Empire Medal.
It's a great honour and privilege that the Queen would choose me out of all the thousands who are doing this kind of work, because it's not only me. And I've got to think of all the backup team, little old-age pensioners in my own village, neighbours I used to live with, they never let me down. They come and fill those jam jars with coppers.
A chance to reward the unsung heroes alongside the celebrities who contribute so much to British life.
And Yuletide felicitations to you.
Sejal Carrier, ITV News.
And I'm delighted to say that we're now joined by Barry and Margaret Misson, MBEs, from the Cafe of Good Hope, which is run by the Jimmy Misson Foundation, established in memory of their son, who was killed just over 5 years ago. Barry and Margaret, it's been a long time since I last spoke to you. I'm so pleased that you could join us today. How did you hear?
Well, we heard by letter, and I got the letter before Barry, so when I opened it, it was really exciting. And to be honest with you, I couldn't get the words out of my mouth when I was trying to tell him that we'd received the MBE, so just fantastic news.
And Barry, I remember when we did have that conversation 5 years ago, all of us in the newsroom and at home were struck by your positive attitude despite the horror that had befallen your family. What have you achieved in these 5 years?
I think we've achieved a lot, actually, Alastair, but the most important thing for us is changing the whole way we look at these issues. Perhaps we're all getting a little bit fed up with being frightened of going to certain parts of the streets. Perhaps we are concerned for our children when they go out every day. And those changes will not come from government, they will not come from police. This is going to come from each and every one of us as individuals. Alastair, we're so thankful to the hundreds and hundreds of people who have supported us from day one. And we dedicate this award, which we're so proud to receive, with thanks to them, and on behalf of our other children, Jimmy's brothers and sisters, who have also gone through this very, very painful time. And this is in memory of a decent, fine young lad whose legacy is going to be one of peace and community cohesion.
Margaret, faith is at the heart of everything that makes you and Barry tick.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, when Jimmy was first killed, you know, it came out in the news then about our faith, and it's obviously very precious to us, and it's what gets us through each day. Even now, you know, although we cope, obviously there's times when the pain still hits you, but because we have a faith, because we know that our Jim is safe in heaven, it actually gets us through many a dark moment.
Not another meeting with Prince Charles as well when you pop off to the palace.
He's actually been here, Alastair. He came here to see, meet some young people, some of the work they've been doing. You look around you here, we have young people working here, doing work experience. We're employing now young people. There's some great things that are happening for the benefit of the marvellous young people in our country. We need to stop focusing on the few that are causing all the issues. Yes, work with them by all means, but let's promote and really work and encourage the rest of our fine young people.
But we also believe that Prince Charles has a real heart for young people, and with his new, with the Step Up to Serve campaign that's coming out, we're hopeful that we'll be working with him as well.
All right, well, it's great to hear from you, and again, warmest congratulations, Barry and Margaret Misson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, an end-of-year deadline for Northern Ireland to put divisions of the past behind has been missed. Talks were being chaired by a former American diplomat, and our correspondent Mark Mallett is live in Belfast for us now. Must be great disappointment, Mark.
Very much so, Alastair. This has been a lengthy process. 6 months of negotiations, including 2 all-night talking sessions in the last 10 days alone. Of course, the aim was to find agreement that would enable Northern Ireland to move beyond and put behind it those 3 outstanding peace process issues: flags, parades and dealing with the past. But the US diplomat Richard Haas has now left Northern Ireland empty-handed. He has, though, played down any suggestion of failure, saying that significant progress has been made.
We are not there, but I believe there is a real prospect that we will get several of the parties to sign on to the text in full. Several of the other parties will endorse significant parts of it, and together this will provide a basis for a serious ongoing political process.
But dismantling that diplomacy, where does the process go next?
That's the big question, Alastair. Richard Haas says that he hopes the parties will go away, talk to their leadership officers and come back with the strong endorsement that he wants to see. I have to say that in the terms of the Northern Ireland peace process, real and significant progress has only been made in the past whenever there have been international leaders presiding over negotiations. We think of the likes of Senator George Mitchell and the signing of the Good Friday Agreement. Of course, Richard Haas is no longer here. Without him to keep politicians focused, the question is, will that slow momentum? And then there is the issue of the local council elections. They're due to take place in May of next year. What the electorate will do whenever it comes to May is likely to play heavily on the minds of politicians when it comes to any further negotiations.
Mark, thank you. MPs are to question the bosses of the UK's energy networks over the length of time it took to restore power to homes affected by storms over Christmas. Thousands of families are still recovering after storms last week caused power cuts, flooding and widespread misery for many. Forecasters say 2014 will begin with more bad weather affecting southern England and western Scotland. Thousands of firefighters will walk out later in their ongoing dispute over pensions and retirement age. It'll be the 8th strike by the Fire Brigades union since September. Members in England and Wales will stop work for 6 hours from 6:30 this evening. And thousands of people have been evacuated from the town of Castleton in the American state of North Dakota after 2 trains collided. Thick black smoke could be seen for miles around after a mile-long goods train carrying crude oil burst into flames. It is thought that everybody escaped unhurt. Now, in less than 12 hours' time, all Romanians and Bulgarians will be entitled to work in the United Kingdom, and once they pass the residency test, to claim benefits. Our political correspondent, Robert Lee Weeks, is live in Westminster for us. That's the fact. Has anybody put an accurate figure on how many we expect?
Well, the government is proving rather reluctant to put any sort of figure. And in the absence of an official prediction, the group Migration Watch, which campaigns for lower immigration, is suggesting that around 50,000 Romanians and Bulgarians could arrive here every year for the next 5 years. And that figure is one of the reasons why tomorrow's date is causing such a great deal of nervous anticipation. The government, of course, has rushed through a number of measures set to come into force tomorrow, designed to make the UK less attractive, such as no immediate access to social housing or job seekers allowance. But Migration Watch are still suggesting that the UK is the most lucrative destination for Romanians and Bulgarians in the European Union because of higher wages here and because of higher in-work benefits. But it should be said that there are a number of business leaders, the London Chamber of Commerce amongst them, that are saying that tomorrow's lifting of restrictions should actually be welcomed because of the boost to the economy that the influx of skilled migrant workers could bring.
Romilly, thank you. As 2013 draws to a close in Britain, in New Zealand they have already counted down to the arrival of 2014. Well, those celebrations that you're looking at began in Auckland with a firework display at the top of the city's Sky Tower near the harbour to the sound of car horns and cheering crowds just 300 metres below. And we can then head nonchalantly west where we are live in Sydney for you as they count down to 2014.
What's that supposed to be? I can't hear anything at all.
The absolute spectacular Sydney Harbour Bridge setting the ball rolling. I'm not sure about the music. I'm told in my ear possibly AC/DC anyway. There we are, the Australians doing it as only the Australians do it. And I suppose if you're 4-0 up in the Ashes, that is a perfectly reasonable excuse. Let's go to Edinburgh now and correspondent Damon Green, where it's looking a little greyer and quieter, but it won't in a few hours' time, Damon.
That's correct. The weather might be a bit better in Sydney, but the organisers of this street party say it will be the biggest and best that Edinburgh has ever seen. The partygoers have already started to assemble in the centre of the city. There'll be 80,000 of them there. 20,000 will be from overseas, and their visit will generate some £30 million for the Scottish economy. At midnight, of course, the big event, after all the music, all the dancing, all the celebration, will be the fireworks over the castle. The first display, though, at 2014. 2014 billed as Scotland's big year.
All right, Damon, thank you very much indeed. Let's go back to Sydney to bid you farewell as the fireworks fly. The whole team will be back at 6:45. For now, bye-bye.
Dunstable. Woo! My cheeks are glowing. Woohoo!
7 Seas Pure Cod Liver Oil proudly sponsors the ITV National Weather.
Hello, good afternoon. It was a pretty wet start to the day with this band of rain moving eastwards across many parts of Britain. Behind it we do have a brief respite developing and there'll be some decent sunny spells appearing as we go through the rest of today, particularly across central and western parts for a time. But as we go through the rest of this afternoon and creeping in towards the evening time, we'll see a trough of showers coming in. Some of those showers are going to be quite heavy and persistent, maybe some hail mixed in and the odd rumble of thunder possible, especially the further west you are. Out towards the east, it will be a drier night. In fact, eastern parts of Scotland, best place for seeing those New Year's Eve fireworks. Elsewhere, it's going to be a more changeable story with those frequent blustery showers still feeding in from time to time. So make sure you keep your body handy. That's it for now. Have a good day.
Seven Seas Pure Cod Liver Oil proudly sponsors the ITV National Weather.